Hey there, this is John, your lovable GM, and you're listening to Demon Dayz, an actual play podcast where they focus on fiends and the friends who play them. Want to quick give a shout out to our sponsor Arknight, whose props, maps, and minis make our table a delight. They've been with us since the beginning, and we love them oh so much. Also want to give a shout out to KiloWhat, who's done the artwork for our show. Our heroes have never looked so good. We'll put all those links in the show notes. Without further ado, let's jump into the game, shall we?
Friends, fiends! When last we spoke, our heroes saved some merfolk from imminent death, and then met with their leader to get a good feel for what to expect at the hand of the Titan. They then set up one of their magical hut contraptions underwater and settled in for the night. What's in store for our heroes, you might ask? Well, hand me a bullywug-sized flagon of ale, and I'll tell you what happens next in these Demon Dayz.
Sleep in a strange dome of force underwater is a strange proposition, but it comes for you all swiftly, bringing with it your normal garden variety dreams. No weird communiques from cryptic patrons and nothing ominous whatsoever. And so I'm kind of curious, what does that look like for each of you guys? In terms of what is a non-super serious dream look like for Feder, for Tazlin, for Yusuf, and whoever wishes to start may start us off.
I think it's a weird combination of like going through different levels of the tower at home and like, but everything's weird. Like everybody's kind of like dressed for a party, but then it's a boat and then we're like sailing on the boat, but then it's the airship. And then I'm like, Candace. And then I'm like, back to the party. And then right before it gets super weird and everybody gets naked, I wake up. That's probably, that sounds par for the course.
Fucking Candace.
Goddamn cadence.
All right, who is next?
Yeah, if it's just, if it's not a heavy dream, I think it might be a similar type flashback, like him walking around the outward walls of the city in Cania, looking out over the frozen wastes, and then like it immediately like a slam cut from that thought to just being with the gnomes in the city and being at ease and in the sun and the water, swimming and just greeting folks as they walk past the glass shop and just being at gentle ease. And then he looks up at one point and he actually sees Gallahan, the elk, and that kind of like brings him back to the present as he wakes up.
Okay, cool. How about Tazlin's dreams?
Imagine, if you will, a small 6-year-old Tazlin who looks pretty normal. No horns, no tail, just her blue-gray skin and everything like that. And she is holding, one hand is holding her mom's hand and the other hand is holding her dad Cheshire's hand, and they are just swinging her all nice and happy. She's giggling in their arms and they're walking amid tents that look like circus because they're down in Phlegethos, and she is just having the time of their life. And she at one point asks Cheshire to carry her on his shoulders, and she's going around on his shoulders, hanging onto his horns, being all nice and wonderful. And then we pan out and there's an adult Tazlin watching them as they walk into a tent. And she feels a little hand on her shoulder, turns around, there's Feder. Feder beckons her into another tent. She goes in, it's all lavish and wonderful. There's a bed in the back, and on the bed is Nax, sitting there all nice and pretty, shirt kind of open, he's drinking tea, and kind of beckons them both into the bed, and they crawl into the bed together and start having some fun times, getting wonderful, little threesome there. And as that starts really picking up, it just kind of fuzzes out in ash, like ash starts to cover up all of our vision, and you hear the faint hoof beats and whinnies of the Hell Riders, and then she wakes up.
Nice.
I heard hoofbeats, and I was like, and then Yusuf wakes her up and ruins it all.
Nope, just her trauma.
Yeah. Oh boy. And yeah, actually, Taslin, in terms of the order of things, even though we did it in a different order, you actually are the first to wake up. And you feel something akin to a 1 hour remaining internal alarm for your tiny hut. You didn't really realize that it was that courteous of a spell, but apparently your attunement to it and practice a couple times has given you kind of a sense of, it's about to end. And yeah, you guys are still underwater, deep within Titanfall.
Okay, I'll wake Fetter up, and then I'll wake Yusuf up.
Oh, God. It's damp down here. Blech.
It's gonna be even more damp when the spell runs out in about 50 or so minutes. Yeah.
Sure. All right. So, everybody ready to march forward into uncertain destiny?
I'd say we should probably figure out what the plan is, but I don't know if we have enough time down here, so we might want to do that up there, where we can breathe above the sea.
Sure. Because we're still in the little encampment, right? In Blick's little encampment.
Yeah. You are in their little kind of last stand in the south paw of this little basin area. And yeah, from where you guys are, you can even see some of the merfolk swimming around and scouting about and just keeping an eye on things.
I looked down at my pocket watch. About how much time do we have left on the water breathing spell that Sunny cast on us?
That was about 24 hours, so you've still got maybe 10-ish hours. Okay. So you still have a lot. It's some factor larger than the tiny hut, so.
Right on.
Cool.
Well, yeah, reconvene topside, and was there anything else we needed from Blick?
You get the sense that you've kind of covered everything. They've given you everything that they can.
Right.
I know that Blick is around. He's close by to that rock, just keeping an eye out and making sure everything's okay. But other than new information or new plans, like, they don't have much to offer from their small band of people.
Mm-hmm. All right. I just kind of, shall we reconvene topside, figure out what's next?
Yep, I say topside. We'll figure it out there.
Okay.
And then, yeah, Taslin, with the nature of that spell, once you leave it, you're the one that leaves it, it'll collapse in. So you're kind of like the one to turn the lights out, as it were.
I usher them out first, after you.
Yep.
Then you guys make your way to the top, and you see a lot more jagged edges and outcroppings along the southern wall of this basin area, where you could conceivably, like, at least sit on it or clamber to it a little bit, give yourselves a bit of a rest, similar to like the edge of a pool. Not a lot. It would really hurt your back if you stayed there for very long, but just enough to kind of get your bearings.
Okay. What now? We head towards the Titan. We try to find the Tressym. Try to pull out, parlay with it one way or the other. Hopefully do better than our friend who was consumed by the Obelix.
Pretty sure we're going to find the Tressym at the Titan.
Yeah. And try to get into the fortress, right? That's all still the order of the day?
I think that's best.
I believe so. Yeah.
Is anyone, and maybe I've just got a stick in my craw, we don't think that there's a tear halfway up the Titan worth closing to try to keep the merfolk from being corrupted? Or is that, let's deal with the big problem first and then see what we can do about the local tribal war?
Well, I don't know if we've quite figured out how to close the tears without the staff yet.
Well, we've got the skewer knife, right? That could be charged up and...
True, yeah, we do have that. Pretty sure.
I just wonder if it's a different type of tear than we're used to, or if it's more of kind of the same. I mean, either way, we get to the Titan, we see what we see.
I feel like that decision is going to be best made once we get there. See exactly what we're dealing with.
Sure. Now, John, all of our boats were destroyed, yeah? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, the two that you guys were using were destroyed by the lightning from the fish creature that you fought, the marrow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think, I just remembered. You do see Blick surface the water maybe 5 or 10 minutes after you guys kind of get a general idea what your plan is, and you're in the middle of discussion, and he comes over to you guys. Excuse me, I see that you guys are moving on from here, and we may have located some other boats for you. If that is to your liking, and if that is useful to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a great swimmer. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm all right, but I much prefer being on a craft. That's just me.
I'm a decent swimmer, but I think the boat would do us good.
Okay, yes. Before you guys head out, just get a hold of me. I'll be doing a round here just to make sure everything is safe, and I will guide you through the South Passage, and we will get you your boats. We're not sure of the shape that they're in. They might not be able to take too much damage, so just have a care.
Sure.
But let me know when you're ready to head off, and I will guide you.
I don't know. Anything else we need to chat about, gang? I feel like we're pretty good to go.
I think we can go now.
I think so. Yes.
Very good. Then follow me. We will have to go down through a little crevice down at the bottom, but it'll be confined. If you'll just bear with it, it won't last very long. And yeah, he guides you west and south, or west and down into the water to a little opening. It's a little bit of an opening about humanoid size. You're able to climb in and pull through. It's not nearly as cramped, but you're able to kind of push your way through. You find yourselves on a very small, rough beach. The rocks here are very rough and pebbly and not very nice. I mean, comparatively, it doesn't have any dead bodies on it, so that's, I guess, nicer, but it's not nearly as pleasant to the feet.
I'm gonna look around. Does it seem like we're gonna be on land for a minute?
No, not too much. It's not a very big section. You get a sense that, because you can hear a little bit of water off in the distance, that if you turn the corner, you'll probably back into it.
Sure.
This just looks like a very dried out kind of rise that has protected an access point to the area you guys were just at.
Okay. Well, shall I sneak forward? Any tricks we want to use to get a look at things before we head that way? Or Blick, do you think the boats, did he already take off?
He's still in the water. He's just looking at you guys, like waiting to see if everything is good.
So boats this way, Blick, you think?
Yes, we found some over that way. One of our scouts was able to climb over and check it out.
All right.
They have not been used for a while, but they seem seaworthy enough. We dare not go too much further ourselves, though, as we are closer to the hand than we would like.
All right. Well, I'll do some roguey shit and just hide and then cunningly move up and around the corner.
Yeah, roguey shit.
That holy shit.
Get that roguey shit.
Do. Let's see. Just for my own edification. Rolling dice when no one's asking me to, it's never a good idea. Oh, hey, an 18 on a stealth check. So that's not the worst thing that's ever happened.
Oh, nice. Yeah, despite all the grainy, rocky nature of this sand, you're silent.
Boop.
The path opens out almost immediately, and it kind of based off your ears, it's like, oh, your ears guessed right, that there wasn't too much land here.
All right.
And you even just step 1 or 2 steps further than where you are now, just a little bit to the north, and you're already in deep. So it's just kind of like a gathering of a bunch of loose stone.
Okay. I'll slink back and wave them forward.
And you also see there's 2 boats there. They seem to be in good condition. They're just old.
Sure.
I totally had the Pink Panther music going in my head when I was imagining them going forward.
There's the copyright strike for this podcast.
All right, boat pals.
yeah.
How did we do this last time? I'm trying to remember. I am good at navigating, not good at rowing. What are you going to do?
Also good at navigating, not good at rowing.
I'll row.
Yeah, I'll row one of the boats.
All right, I guess I'll... Sonny, which one are we going in?
Yeah, let's just go to the one over here to the northwest.
All right. Westward, yeah? Anyone getting any tinglies about this big, giant, ancient statue in the middle of the lake, or are we just kind of heading west? And I'll check my compass and see kind of how things are...
Yeah, the compass part itself is starting to just casually spin around and not really find placement.
Mm-hmm.
And you can you can begin to see a little bit to the north, some large stone. Just from your distance, you think that might be what you're looking for, but right now you're just seeing a lot of large rock straight ahead of you.
Yes, north. Straight north.
Yeah, north.
Okay. And I'll just kind of like do some hand signals and get us going northernly at a quiet pace. And I'll try to like have Sunny row as quietly as we can in this giant echoey cavern, you know.
For sure. So as you guys get your boats moving and start moving northward, you start to see 5 large spires that you can see that are arranged to look like fingers reaching up out of the water. And from where you're at, you can also see to the east a little bit of where you are, a giant blade, a massive sword that is jutting out of the water itself, giving you kind of a strange view, because this thing reaches to the top. It is massive.
Can I do like an eye for detail check to try to kind of ascertain as I'm looking at these pieces to figure out what what the pose of this Titan is?
Yeah.
Not great. 13.
13? Well, even with the 13.
Like it's like one hand and the sword? Like it's like the sword's in the other hand, or?
No, it's more like you see the hilt up top towards the ceiling, just a faint outline of it. Mm-hmm. And from the positioning and looking around, you're kind of doing a little bit of math in your head. The only way for this to work would be if the hand's reaching out and the blade of the sword is through the face.
Oh, okay. So the sword has gone through the head.
Yes.
And it's got its hand out.
Yes.
Interesting.
Did we actually like move into that area, or like I feel like we would have moved into that area and just looking down, how clear is the water? Can we tell that the face is there?
Not really.
Okay.
All you would get is from Fedder's conjecture, just based off of distances, that a Titan, this would have to be the face. It couldn't line up any other way mathematically.
Right.
But you can't really see anything because the water you notice below you is very dark, just black. You can't see through it. It's super murky. And what's weird is as you get closer to the hand, you notice too that the water itself doesn't make much of a sound as you row. Like as Sunny puts the oar in there and just pushes, it's just like, and you're not hearing a lot of sound. And Yusuf, you notice this too when you're rowing, is that the water feels thicker. Like it doesn't feel as light as just stagnant water might be. It has a weight to it.
Chonky.
Chonky soup water.
So yeah, I'll pull up our boat close enough so that I can whisper to them and just say, right, so looks like we've got a hand reaching up. Looks like that sword, even if it is the Titan sword, may possibly be buried in its own head, which would be that way. But what do we think? You're looking for the hand, right, Yusuf? Or should we take a look at the fingers? Or
yeah, I mean, I think that's it. As he points to the northwest, right here in front of us.
Taz, where do we think this Tressym would be?
I think it all feels a little too easy, and most of the time people have 2 hands.
Sure.
So we can check this one out, but I think maybe either there's another hand that we should be looking for, or this might not be the Titan, because why would you shove your sword in your own face?
I think that someone else probably was responsible for that.
Yeah.
But it's quite a move, if you think about it, but
I feel like rowing around and exploring a little bit more is not a bad idea, but...
Sure, head on a swivel then.
I turn around and just to Yusuf, row, you bastard.
Row, you bastard.
I'll try to get around into maybe over the, I'll get to the outside of the fingers.
Okay.
And I'll want to do another, eye for detail check before we like row inside of a hand that could close theoretically. You know what I mean? Like I want to peer off the edge of the boat and see through the dark.
Okay.
With my dark vision and try to see what I can see about the hand.
Yeah, sure. If you want to give a roll on that.
Oh yeah, that's better. 23.
23. Yeah, as you guys circled around this bigger stone structure and kind of got the breadth of it as you boated around it, it looks to be the thumb. Just the way everything is shaped on that, you guys ended up circling the thumb part of the palm around there. And as you get around that, you start to see another spire, which is curved in a little bit as it's rising up. And based off of that, you're starting to get the breadth of it. Okay, if there's the finger, there's another finger off in the distance, and you can kind of see that fading to the southwest as you look. And from where you guys are to the northeast, Yusuf and Tazlin, you guys have moved your boat over to where the finger is and are looking in. You notice your boats are touching something. They're coming abreast of something. Maybe it might be the palm, but there's a definite, like, the boat stops against it and you sense ground further in.
John, assuming that the Titan has a humanoid physiology, the shape of the thumb would lead me to believe that this is its right hand.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, like, we're on the right side. The sword was in the head, and then there should presumably be a left hand on the other side.
Yeah, if it were both reaching up, you can't see that far past the sword. It's pretty much mostly dark, even to the extent of your dark vision. But yeah, logistically, there would be if another hand was reaching out, you would see that.
Okay.
Kind of look over to Taz and should we go to the other side of the sword?
What does everybody think? Should we check this hand out a little bit more or go looking?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's see what's here. Let's get a full picture of what this is, and
right.
Then we can take a look at the other side.
Sounds good. I mean,
John, I'll row us onto whatever the actual hand would be till it kind of moors itself, and then how deep is the water here?
You get to maybe about 10, 15, 20 feet in, and it moors pretty much, and you're about maybe a foot of water. It's very shallow, but the water itself is very thick. So you can't actually see the ground you're walking on. It's just that your foot is able to make purchase on the palm of the hand. And there's about, a foot of water in there. And as you emerge from your boats onto it, you don't hear anything other than just your cloth and armor rustling. There's not any, like, splashiness, or the water's not making much of a noise. There's something acoustically weird about that.
Okay. I'm gonna try to scramble up the thumb. Like, try to climb up to the top and see if I can perch up there and take a look out at anything. And see if there's anything else I can see from up there.
John, while he's doing that, I'm going to turn both the boats around so they're facing out if we need to, like, run and jump in to scoot off the land for any reason.
Okay. Feder, I would do athletics check on the climbing up especially once you start getting to the...
Can I do acrobatics, John?
Acrobatics is fine, yeah.
and I'm gonna go to the middle of the palm.
Whoop, not great. That's a 12, all told.
A 12? You're maybe about able to get up to where the first joint, but anything steeper than that, your feet start to slide. Your feet are slick from the water, and you're not able to get any good purchase to get all the way to the top.
Okay.
And then, Tazlin, you said you were going to the center of the palm?
Yeah, the middle of the palm. It's a little too quiet, but it's fine.
Too quiet.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
As you get closer to the center of this palm, you can kind of see a bit of a bubbling, like a bloop, bloop. And as it bubbles, you see thick strands of it start to, like, drip upward. And then about chest high get sucked into something, just, like, kind of, like, disappear to a very weird view.
There's no, like, visual disturbance where they're disappearing in the chest high. It's just like they just bubble up and then go into nothing.
Yeah. They appear to be going into something, but whatever it is, you are unable to perceive it.
Okay. That's weird. So I'm going to reach my hand out and, like, poke and see if there's, like, where it's disappearing, see if, like, my hand disappears too, or if it's just normal.
It's just normal. So you kind of trace the dark, goopy substance up to where it would be, and you try to, like, see if you can stick your hand in, like maybe it's a portal or something, but it just goes through. You just end. There's nothing there. You don't really sense anything.
Oh God.
So what do we think that is? Is it a garden variety portal? Is it something else? would it theoretically be seed shaped if we wanted to go that route at some point?
Well, I'm gonna call you guys over and point it out, and then be terrible me. I hate this when my characters do things that I'm like, don't do it. I'm going to kneel down and stick my hand down and see if it hits palm or
full
not.
Alien Covenant right now. Just full.
Yep.
Put your face right into it.
You reach down and you do feel the palm, the stony palm, and it's cold, but you do feel a crack where the current of whatever this ichor stuff is coming up from, and it's a steady current of liquid coming out of that. So it almost feels like, from what you're saying, that something's pulling essence or siphoning something from it. And you also can sense that the water is very dark and still and goopy here too, that maybe this is just all spilling out.
Magic people who know more than me about this sort of thing, is this akin to the rifts that we're used to? Is this something else?
John, does this look like the black ichor shit that was in the swamp that was covering everything?
Do an Arcana.
I'll assist.
Arcana or History, whichever one is better for you.
I can assist with Arcana, not History.
I mean, they're both +1. He's not bright, so...
Do you want me to do the Arcana then, bright boy?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, no, I'll say that. I'll say that, Taz, does this look like the same goop that was in the swamp that we dealt with?
I mean, I'd imagine it's either essence or corruption, one or the other.
Right, so my question still stands.
So let's see. Ooh, not great. All of my dice have caught on that they are being replaced and they are angry. So that's a 10 for Arcana.
10? It certainly is very similar. Yeah. It has a lot of the same properties, if only it doesn't have exactly the same behaviors. The behaviors are a little bit different here, but the material and its kind of essence feels very similar. Feels very corrupting. So about maybe 70, 60%.
So yeah, more corruption than essence.
All right, well, I mean, no offense, Yusuf, but is it worth trying to perhaps close it the old-fashioned way as opposed to with the seed? Does that get us something? Worst case scenario, we can reopen it and put the seed back.
I don't think this is something that we can... It's not like a portal that we can close.
Okay.
Yeah, John, I'll stick my hand down in there too. Does it feel like an actual crack in the rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have relayed that.
Yeah, your hand briefly brushes against Taslin's and you're like, oh yeah, it also has there's a crack there. I'm like,
I didn't know if it was
I just kind of give you a look like, sure, don't believe me.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't know if you meant the rock is actually cracked or if it was just a space that was open. I was just checking.
oh no, yeah, it feels cracked. And yeah, you'd have enough experience with that Yusuf to know the difference. And yeah, it's definitely cracked, split.
Think of it like a wound.
can I do an insight check on Sunny? How is she doing? Is she getting, considering it looks like we are at their quest objective? That's a 27.
She is in awe of what she's seeing. She's seen what Taslin's showing off, the ichor going up. She's looked at the spires, the sword. She's in a mode of taking it all in.
Okay.
And you can even hear kind of a, oh, fuck's sake, as she looks around at just the sheer scope of what we're all seeing here.
All right.
She's taking Yusuf's discussion with her to heart. She's following your guys' lead.
Okay. Cool. So I will move my hands away from the knife in my sleeve ever so slightly. All right, well, we know this is here. Don't see any Tressyms about. Shall we check the other hand then? The left-hand path, perhaps?
If there is one, yeah.
Probably. Left-handed path is a favorite.
The stranger path.
You guys start to discuss moving on, and you, Feder, I think you hear it first. You hear a low noise, a very soft noise at first. Kind of a gurgly, wet noise, but echoey. And you can't place it. You just hear it. It seems to be surrounding. And like I said, the sound, the acoustics of this hand are a bit weird.
So I shift. There's like a very subtle shift in my shoulders as I kind of, start to just tense from a much more relaxed, into that kind of spry knot of roguish muscle. And I'll put a little bit of a hand up. And which way can I get a sense of where it's coming from, John? Little eye for detail for hidden foes, as it were.
Yeah, definitely roll for it.
Yeah, fucker. This is what my class is built for. 24 eye for detail.
So that noise you're hearing seems to be in a slow state of circling, starting from the more southern edge
Right.
of the hand and moving around toward the north, so clockwise. And you start to hear it passing between like the fingers on its traversal north, and it's fast, but not that fast. It seems more of a casual scoping the situation, if a noise could do that. But you're still hearing this like this wet gurgle that seems to get a little bit loud and then fade off.
Okay.
Almost as if, but you're not like, even with your roll, you're not seeing anything just yet. You're just hearing this as if the water is echoing it to you. And then maybe after about, I don't know, once it gets back down south towards the bottom of the thumb, you hear almost wet coughs that emerge from it too, like.
So I'm kind of like doing like a Tracy hand, like at this point I hope the gang knows to kind of like follow my eyes, and I'm like got one dagger out and I'm rolling it between my hands, and I'll just kind of slowly turn and look at Taslin and then look at where I think it is and kind of wait to see what she would like to do. But I'm tempted to call out to the thing.
I actually noticed too. I rolled a 19 for perception, so.
I'll see that of him, and it keys me in onto like hearing it kind of thing, and especially with his motions, like I'm able to follow it a little bit more. And I'll hold my left hand as I hit the mic. I'll hold my left hand kind of like in motion of following where it was, and the left hand has the Raven Queen's mark on my palm, and I'll just be like, "Here, Tressy." Here, Tressy.
So picture this. It's almost like there's like a moment where it just gets the growl, like the wet gargling rolls off. It's quiet for just a brief second. Federer's like, "Okay, we're ready to do this," and then you just hear Tressy, just out loud, just like Sonny's even like, "Oh fuck, what is?" And in response to your hear Tressy, you hear that low growl and cough again. It gets more distorted and more loud and starts to roll into a roar. And you hear what sounds like flapping of wings that were stuck in like a tar substance, like that sort of like a wet flap. And out from the water clambers this really large, perverse mutation of what you have seen a Tressym to be. You notice as it breaches the surface and latches itself onto the palm that it is enlarged and elongated in strange and unexpected ways.
Well, you're certainly foul.
And black ichor coats the creature all over and seems to move of its own accord, kind of like Venom from the comics, just like as it's forming. And you can kind of see bits and pieces every now and then when there's a gap of something cat-like inside, but then it gargles and as the substance keeps forming over, and this ichor form starts to take on this dragon-like performance. And you could see why the merfolk would say lizard in the way that it's moving and using it's fighting its way onto the shore, not necessarily in control of itself. And the foul Tressym itself looks onto your hand as you're moving around like, "Hey, Tressym," but it seems angered by this and aggravated, and it starts to roar out, and we need to roll initiative.
Oh, fantastic.
I thought you were supposed to be my friend.
As I see that, I look over to Taslin. I'm like, "Well, my mind's made up. I think your Tressym needs help because it's stuck inside that thing."
Oh God, did you really have to say that out loud?
Oh, natural 20.
Nice.
Does that put you to anything? 20, or is it just straight up 20 for
24, baby.
24?
I hope you don't try and plant the seed, because then I'm going to have to fight two things, and that's not nice. When it was landing and we got a good look on it, and it was taking its, like, second and being all venomy,
Uh-huh.
can I really quick roll an Arcana to see if it's, like, especially when I said, well, you certainly are foul, to see if, like, the ichor is separate from the creature, or if it's part of it?
Yeah, go ahead. I feel like given the time it took to get up there, you would have had enough time to do a check like that.
19.
19? Yeah, that's the vibe you get from it. That it is, especially coupled with its movements, that its movements are against itself. The more strandy, ichory thing is what responded very violently to your hand, and whatever was inside was trying to head toward it.
Okay.
You guys all ready?
Okay, well, when Yusuf said that of the whole, I've made my mind up, seems like it needs help, just gonna kind of shoot him a look and be like, it does need help, and I can help it.
Okay. And to begin with, we are at the top of the round, our Mr. Natural 20 himself. Feder, you are able to act the fastest. You recognize the aggression as it starts to roar at Taslin's gesture. Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily have the nuance of what she saw with her Arcana and all that, but you know that it's moving. It's gestured, even in its inconsistent state, to move forward and start to attack. So you get this first action. You get the first part of the turn order, and yeah.
Okay. Bonus action, insightful fighting, to do an insight against its deception check. It's a dirty 20.
Let's see. Deception. Only 16.
Haha! So I see, like, where the sloshy venom slime is kind of pooling and oozing, and I can lock into a couple key places where I feel like I could do some serious damage. I am going to back up the thumb a little bit, just to kind of spread us out to the south, and then I am going to ready a dagger throw, and I'm going to wait and see what Taslin does next, and if Taslin is aggressive or if it's aggressive to her, I am going to toss a dagger.
Okay. So if it starts to make a move toward her, you'll unleash?
Yeah.
Okay. And then since you're holding that brings us to Taslin.
Okay, so I'm gonna summon my sword out of my mark on my left hand. Fun fact, Taslin is left-handed. And as I'm moving forward to this thing, I'll just kind of say to the others, don't harm it, distract it, I need a minute. And I am gonna make an attack on it, but I'm gonna try and attack the ichor, not it.
Okay.
I want to get a slice of the ichor that's around it.
Okay, so you're kind of aiming where as the thing folds over on itself, sort of like dough. You're kind of trying to avoid that gap where you can sort of see a cat-like thing inside it. You're kind of waiting for it to cover over at least.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very specifically trying to wait for that moment when it twists in on itself and I can slice off a piece of the ichor. Oh fuck yes! Thank God. Oh, you know what? And as my bonus action, I will curse the... I mean, I don't know if this is a separate target. You can decide, but I'll also put my curse on it. The ichor, in particular, is what I'm going for, less the Tressym.
Uh-huh.
Which means I crit on 19 or 20. I rolled a 19.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So that's a 27 to hit the ichor.
27, that does hit.
Okay. And it's a crit, so... I get a crit, but I rolled a 1 on damage.
Yeah.
So that would be 7 points of damage to this guy. Oh wait, because it's my curse, I can add 3. So that's 10 points of damage to the ichor to slice off a piece.
Okay. 10 points.
So, John, when Taslin makes contact with the thing, Does it like almost like Jello on top of it? Does it ripple away from it? Is there like a membrane on top that is kind of, is it skin tight to it, or is it kind of like a Jello on top of the Tressym? Because if it were like, if a pseudopod or some sort of sploshy bit were to come off of it when Tazlin attacked, I would try to throw for the Ichor.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
You would attack the thing that flopped off, you mean?
Yeah, like if, or like, you know what I mean? If you hit it and it's got this thing on it and like a bit sloshed up, I would try to throw the dagger into the sloshy bits away from the Tressym.
Okay. When she does her attack, nothing comes off. There's the equivalent of, like, I guess, blood, if you would, dark blood. It shrieks as you do that, but there's not enough, like she didn't lop off a part of it, and that there was a huge opening, but there's enough there for you to still get in.
Right. So yeah, if Taz attacked, I would throw one too.
Okay.
13.
13 to hit?
Yeah.
No, it misses.
Bye, dagger.
So, do I get spatter on my sword, or is it like a little pebble stuff that I can actually like grab?
It's spatter that ends up landing on like your sword, and you see it start to drip and roll down.
That's fine. That's all I need. Just needed something of it. For the very last part of my turn. I'm gonna hate this, but I'm gonna move backwards so it will get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. It sees you start to back up and just growls and shrieks out at you and tries to swipe at you with its morphous claw and oh, 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, it hits me.
Okay, 13 damage against you.
Ouchie.
And it big ol' youchie.
Well, I deserve that, because I'm gonna get rid of you. So as I'm backing away, I'll kind of like start wiping the stuff of this that came off on the sword on my hand and just say like, I need a minute. I'm gonna get rid of it, but I need a minute.
Okay.
I have a plan, but I need a minute. Keep it busy.
You hear Yusuf say, "All right," as he starts to pull his sword.
But don't kill it.
All right, and so that ends your turn? Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was a lot of talking for one turn, but that's fine. It's magic.
I just read the whole novel Moby Dick to you in my turn. 6 seconds, wow. So it's Sunny's turn next, and she does hear your, hold on a minute. She looked like she had something in mind. She was like, okay, how would I deal? And she had a plan in motion, but you said wait. So she's going to take a movement and try to spread out just to help distract. She's going to head a little bit south toward the base of the thumb and just aim, and she is going to let's moonbeam this son of a bitch.
Spells badass.
Been wanting to use moonbeam for a bit. One action. So she will angle forward and start to speak and use the components needed to reach out and attack. And a silvery beam of pale light shines down like in a 5-foot radius, like right there, 40-foot high cylinder, right on the Tressym itself. And you see ghostly flames erupt around it. And it does, well, you guys are in luck. The rolls aren't good for it.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, I hope so. Because then it's gonna be bye-bye next turn, so I hope so.
It does not succeed its rolls. It's not that much. It ends up being 4 damage. And doesn't seem to hurt it as much, but very annoying, and the creature reacts to the moonbeam. And I think that thing just stays around. Should I make a saving throw?
Yeah, it stays around as long as you...
On each turn after you cast it...
It's a concentration.
Okay. Yep. So she's working on the moonbeam and is trying to aggro it, especially with a more annoying radiant base spell based off of what she's seeing. And that ends her turn, leading us to the foul Tressym itself, who now has a spread of people to look at. And as it's trying to focus on who to attack, it's being hit by a moonbeam. It just was attacked by Tazlin, who's backed up. And it opens its mouth wide, and you start to see Shadow appear and then blast out in a 30-foot cone.
Shit.
And it's going to attempt to hit Sunny and Yusuf. given just where it ended up. The moonbeam is the most annoying attack at it right now, just because it's consistent. And you both need to roll a dex saving throw.
Right. Crap, she's not within 10 feet of me, so she doesn't get a bonus to it. It's a 19 for me. 19? Ooh, just makes it. So, despite making it, some of that shadow essence still is able to hit against you, taking 20 necrotic damage against you. So I made it, but I take 20?
Yeah.
Oof.
Which, Sunny did not save. She was not able to move fast enough, given her placement on the base of the thumb, and just the water's a bit slick there, so she got most of the blast of this shadowy breath, and ended up taking 40, and she falls back maybe about 5 feet, and she is in rough shape. But she weakly is like thumbs up, okay, distraction. Bringing us to Yusuf.
Ooh, is the moonbeam a concentration spell, John? I think it is.
Yeah, I gotta roll against that. Let's see. Concentration. Roll high, roll high.
She might lose that.
Yeah, the moonbeam itself goes away. Just fizzles. But still, it has attracted the Tressym's attention. So it did its job, but it is not sustained. Leading us to Yusuf.
Right. So he pulls out his sword. He's gonna move. John, where on the hand is the energy coming out of it? The font of this black ichor?
No.
Right about there, center of the palm. So pretty close to you, actually, just a little bit south.
Okay, cool. So he's going to move so that he is between it and the Tressym, and Taz is inside his aura of protection. He says, whatever you're going to do it quick. And he's going to cast a spell on the Tressym. It needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom?
Yep.
Wisdom. A natural failure.
Sweet. So Yusuf casts Compelled Duel. You attempt to compel a creature into a duel. One creature that you can see within range must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by your divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you, and must make a wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move to a space that is more than 30 feet away from you. If it succeeds on the saving throw, the spell doesn't restrict the target's movement for that turn. The spell ends if you attack any other creature, if you cast a spell that targets a hostile creature other than the target, if a friendly creature to you damages the target or casts a harmful spell on it, or if you end your turn more than 30 feet away from the target. So basically, he's going off of what Taz said, don't attack it, just keep it busy. So that's what he does. And he says to everybody else, don't hit it or this won't work. And he's going to basically just stand there defensively so that if Taz needs to get to the font, she can, and do whatever she's gonna do.
Oh, I thought you were gonna throw the seed in there, and I was gonna be so pissed.
That is not what we agreed upon.
All right. So then, that brings us to the top of the round to Feder. And you've seen all this happen. The shadow breath is no joke. It really laid him out. Didn't do much damage to Yusuf. And Tazlin's planning something, and Yusuf just kind of gave her the go-ahead and is blessing her with his aura there. Leaving us to you to make your move.
All right.
When he does say, whatever you're doing, do it quick, she kind of responds, already doing it.
He's also going to remind everybody that if they're within 10 feet of him, they're going to have advantage on saving throws versus spells versus magic effects, resistant to spell damage, and +3 to their saves.
All right. So I'm going to try to wrap around this thing. I'd love to. I don't really need to, but just for the heck of it, I'm going to try to bonus action hide in its blind spot, and hoping that it's keeping its eyes on Yusuf. And then I'm going to hold an action to attack if someone other than Yusuf attacks it. If that makes sense. That's my trigger.
Okay.
So 18 stealth check.
18 stealth check.
To try to get on its blind side. I'm essentially like waiting as it's looking around, and I just kind of want to like animate like when I feel like it's not looking at me, and try to post up behind it.
Judo chop.
Yeah. As you get back there, for some weird reason, like the head caves in a little bit and looks back out at you from behind itself.
Oh, like so the face comes out the back of the head. John, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah. The symbiote face or the actual face of the Tressym?
The symbiote type piece itself. Like,
okay.
It lets you know that it was it's kind of got its eyes tracking a lot of pieces on the board, and it does notice you.
And I've got 2 daggers out, and I just wink at it.
Very creepy.
All right. And that's pretty much held action is my turn.
Okay.
So
brings us to Taslin, back to what she's planning to do.
Okay, so I've gotten the spatter of ichor on my hands. So I'm going to make the sword goes away. And I'm going to start muttering and hand-tutting here. And it needs to make a charisma save.
Charisma.
Please fail.
please
Charisma.
fail, or else we're fucked.
16.
Shit. It meets it.
Oh.
Well,
Does it have disadvantage or anything because you hexed it?
actually that's a good, I rarely ever use a hex, so that's a good thing.
Let's check it.
Yeah, I'm checking.
Because that would change the roll. How about Yusuf's thing that you just did? Compel duel, does that impose a disadvantage? That's if I'm attacking somebody else.
That's only if you're attacking somebody else.
Shit.
Does that also, do I get the sense that Taslin like casting the spell would negate Yusuf's thing? I'll roll something for that to put that together.
If a friendly creature to you damages or casts, is this a harmful spell?
I'm trying to banish it.
Off a plane of existence.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you were doing. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's technically not harming it. That would just be removing it because it doesn't take any damage. So I don't know. I guess.
And especially since it failed, so.
Yeah, it's up to you, John.
Yeah, since it's not doing actual physical damage to it, it wouldn't negate that or anything.
All right, so I'm just like, I'm trying to like look around the thing to Yusuf and to Taslin and into the Tressym, and I'm like, fuck, and I've just got like my knives out.
As the spell, like, I feel the spell doesn't connect at that point, and obviously, like, I could probably tell that, like, it almost connected, like, it got there, but just didn't push through. So I'll call out and be like, I'm trying to banish it. I've got one more shot. Just keep doing it, and I'll keep my hand tutting and stuff back up, because I'm going to do that again next round.
Question, babe. The fact that you have a piece of it in your hands, is that like a requirement, or does that make it easier?
Yes, it's a requirement. I have to have an item of the distasteful to target it.
Got it. But that doesn't give it a negative to its roll or anything, like to scry?
Nope.
Like scrying would? Okay.
Nope.
Trying.
I know I looked. There isn't anything that gives it a disadvantage, which sucks. But
Balls.
hopefully it doesn't roll a 16 next time. Hopefully it rolls lower. Needs to fail. Fail, John. Fail.
Okay. Since, that ends your turn, and we get to Sunny, who kind of shakes her head a little bit, wringing some of the damage out of her ear, like just kind of the ringing out of her ear. She's going to invoke her combat wild shape. So she hunkers down, and at first it looks like she's putting herself in a very weird, awkward pose, like a chicken dance, sort of. You're like, what the fuck is this, Sunny? But then almost like pop, 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 she transforms into the strangest looking pterodactyl-like fucking thing you've ever seen. You'd have to roll a history on it, but you've never seen anything like this before.
All right.
And you see this very pterodactyl-like creature kind of hunker its wings down and just as it shrieks at it. And she is going to, in this new special form, take flight and come around and like flying maybe like 10 feet above this creature and readying for her next attack. Leading us to the foul Tressym itself. Let's roll to see if we can get something back. No. It's going to... how far does it have to move? Roll a save against, Yusuf, to move? Was it 30 feet?
Yeah, it makes...
Or does it have to save first?
Must make a wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move to a space that is more than 30 feet away from me. If it succeeds, it doesn't restrict the movement.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw 12?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so I can't move more than 30. All right, so then it is going to risk the opportunity attack from Feder, move closer, clamber over to where Yusuf is, and get about 10 feet above you, and just kind of in a very clumsy aerial ascent.
I'm going to swipe at it, because why not? Dragon Tooth! Oh, hey, look. It's a natural one. So,
No!
how about that?
Well, spell's still intact. So there's that.
There you go.
All right, and Yusuf, as its last thing, it'll try to attempt to bite and claw at you.
Okay.
And it rolled, let's see. The first roll was a 24 to hit, and the second roll was an 18.
Both hit.
Okay. So the bite, it attempts on you, hits for 17 damage, and the claw ends up being for 13 damage. So it just comes in and then also swipes at you. It kind of almost in a similar time frame. In tandem with each other, which is a very weird look. It just opens out and closes and attacks you with both its mouth and its claws.
Cool. Move faster.
And that ends its turn.
Trying.
Okay. My turn?
Yes, Yusuf, it's your turn.
So he's going to go ahead and dump 30 points of healing back into himself
Okay.
as he lays on hands. Actually, hang on a second.
Lay hands on yourself.
Touching yourself, giving you sweet love feelings.
Wow.
I don't know what that was.
Do I want? Yeah, you know what? No, screw it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use lay on hands.
All right.
Yeah. So he's going to heal himself for the 30 that he just took, as he just kind of throws it into him, and then he's still standing there with the sword, patiently waiting for Taz to do whatever she's doing.
I'm sorry, I'm trying.
It's okay.
And so that's where you end your turn there?
Yeah, he's not going to.
Well, that was your action, yeah, to do the healing.
Yeah. So he can still move though. He's going to. No, he's going to stay where he is, because if he moves, then it'll get an attack of opportunity, but also he won't be covering Taz with the aura from the sword. So yeah, he'll stay there.
When they said they were going to face off against a foul Tressym, I thought it was a bit unfair of them to beat up on some grumpy-wumpy, teensy-wincy cat. Well, now that I know that it's a weird, ooey-gooey, slappy-glappy ichor monstrosity, I don't feel so bad. There's still more to come, but I fear you don't have the right amount of ale for me to continue. But I tell you what, I'll be back later when you've doubled my ale order, and I'll fill you in on what happens next in these Demon Days.
Testing. Rolling the microphone. La-di-da. We're gonna get this, fellas.
And speeding. Okay, cool.
All right. So, can you guys see me in real time now?
Yep,
I'm waving my
I
hands.
am
okay.
not looking at you. I'm just going to listen to your voice.
He's
right.
a good musician boy right there.
All right. We count it down in 3, 2, 1, and clap. All right. As long as there's claps on your guys' things.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
it's a
I have a
it's a
I have
dirty
a
little
spike.
spike.
It is a dirty spike. It's about 18 seconds.
Fucking Candace.
Goddamn cadence.
Cadence,
Cadence,
Candace.
Candace.
Katniss.
That's all she is.
Katniss.
Cadence
Everyone-
changes every time. We don't fucking care.
Yeah. Everyone has a second, third, and fourth name depending on how you guys feel about them.
It's true.
Imagine, if you will, a little. Ooh, hold on. Before I start this, I have to plug my computer in. It's gonna die. That's what I was gonna do.
Imagine,
That's
if you
why
will.
I didn't go first.
Imagine with you, Will, and then you just you just cut out from Discord and you're like, I'm
Oh no,
imagining
we lost Aslan.
Sicily, 1980.
the hut collapsed. It ran out of time
Yeah.
and y'all died.
That was the whole
Very
reason
low-key.
why I didn't go first, and I was like, shit. And then I just remembered right as I was supposed to go. Abigail, Kobold. I am trying to relate a dream. You need to shut up. I'm just ruining this whole thing. Give me a second. Just as a side note, I'd like to point out that I'm being a good podcaster and I muted my mic when I was eating.
Great
Looking
job.
at you, Drew.
Oh, thank you.
I don't have any food.
Looking at you.
Everyone,
I don't have any food.
everyone
Well,
is going to be
yeah.
so appreciative. As I like reach for a bag of chips and just start like,
Then I think I allowed it so you guys can control my token on the boat and the boat tokens. But let me know if you can't.
Can't control the boat tokens, can control Sunny.
Oh, I thought I did not prepare. Okay.
boat tokens. Welcome to the Mid Atlantic podcast. We're podcasting here. Lovely Ocean City, Maryland. Dip our toe in the water. Pardon me while I readjust my boat token. All right, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Dink.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can. Okay. Okay.
Now you guys can take your boats.
Water.
Take
Okay,
a
so
boat in
wait,
the water.
who's
Take-
with who?
Take my boat in the water.
Wow. How about that? There's some boats in the water.
Wow. Wow.
I was trying to do a Huell Hauser, but Owen Wilson suffices.
Oh, wow.
No, so we do want to head north.
Let me control the boat token, babe.
I'm the one rowing.
Right. And you turned us to the west.
Thought we were going west.
This is absolutely of
But
no
look,
edification
there's a-
to the
there's a
viewers
finger.
and listeners.
To the
but,
listener at all.
There's
yeah.
there's
But
a
I'm having a
finger
hoot.
up ahead.
Oh my god.
There's
So for the
this
audience,
finger.
Yeah, you're seeing. I'm seeing on our app here, the boats just turn around and like move over to the left. People falling out of the boat and onto the boat. It's just delightful.
So Yusuf's just leaving me behind in the water.
Boat shenanigans.
Yeah, he just pushes you out like, poof. Roll initiative for the party. You're fighting each other. That's the rest of this episode.